Good evening. This is Mark Ivy from the Cornfield with the inaugural edition of Kernels from the Cornfield. News without the huss, the hulls, the shucks. A dash of commentary to flavor your daily dish. Little snippets of news from around the country and the globe. First up that's in the news today that caught my attention is the fact that today is the deadline to sign up for health insurance through the healthcare.gov website or the state medical exchanges. Last week we were told by President Barack Obama that they had reached their goal of 6 million signups. Of course, we weren't told that that's people that actually purchase health insurance or just enrolled or signed up for an account on the healthcare.gov site or the marketplace exchanges. Back in January, we were informed by the administration that of those that had signed up for coverage, 20% had not paid the first month's premium. That meant a hefty number of signups did not count. We were also told that around 50% of signups had led to being transferred to the state-run federal Medicaid program that takes care of the health care of the poor folk. So they didn't buy any private health insurance policies. We have also been told about 20% of those enrolling are in the 27 to 30-year-old demographic of healthy young people, needed to offset the cost of insurance to cover the sick and older policyholders. Don't forget that the 18 to 26-year-olds can stay on their parents' insurance. So what does all this mean? Well, if we take the numbers, extrapolate them out, we got 6 million enrolled, 50% moved to Medicaid. That means we've only got 3 million actual health insurance signups. Now let's take away that 20% who didn't pay the premium. That takes away 600,000. That leaves us with only 2.4 million people enrolled in private health care through the exchanges. That's a long way off from that 6 million number, even though the White House today is telling us that with the deluge of people rushing to the healthcare.gov site, they're going to hit that 7 million target number they originally had. Forget about the fact that the site was down this morning and wasn't functioning. Now, if only 20% of that number is healthy young people, that means that the brunt of the cost is resting on 480,000 young people. It's no wonder the health insurance companies are crying foul. No wonder the predictions from across the country are that premiums next year may rise as much as 300%. Then there's the other little wrinkle in all this, that there is anywhere from 3 to 5 million people who lost their health insurance because they relied on the president's promise that if you like your insurance, you can keep your insurance. Turns out that wasn't the truth. So let's say if 1 million of those people signed up and got a health insurance policy through healthcare.gov, that drops the number of actual enrollees down to 1.4 million. Now, the target of the law to begin with was to get insured those 40-some-odd million Americans who could not or did not have health insurance. Well, that's a very small fraction of uninsured individuals getting insurance if it's only 1.4 million. Can this initial enrollment period, forgetting the lousy rollout, be considered a success or victory by any standard? Well, I don't think so. I can't see how this could be considered to be a success. As written, the ACA cannot survive and continue this way. Those Republicans that are looking at replacing the ACA, opting to replace the ACA and come up with alternatives, are on the right track. Not repealing the law, but replacing the parts that are bad and keeping the parts that are good. That's the right track to take. At least that's the way it looks from where I'm sitting here in the cornfield. Then we've got the situation going on with the mystery that continues to be a mystery with Malaysia Flight 370. It's been 3 weeks now, and we still don't know what happened to the flight. We still don't know what happened to the passengers. We still don't know what caused this mystery to begin in the first place. CNN as it should, being the international leader when it comes to breaking news and covering the international scene, has taken the lead on this story. The only problem that I have with CNN is that they're not telling us anything new. Yes, it's good for ratings. Yes, they need those ratings. Yes, viewers are turning in. But if you ain't got something to say, why keep repeating the same thing over and over again? And as of right now, here at 6 o'clock in the evening, on the last day of March, it all comes down to just 3 little words when it comes to Malaysia Flight 370. I don't know. It's all speculation. Perhaps maybe CNN can tone it down a little bit and get some more of the world news in there than just simply repeating over and over the same information from the same experts, which all are saying the same thing. I don't know. Then we got the Ukraine crisis going on. Will Russia invade Ukraine, or will they be satisfied with illegally annexing Crimea? We're told that there could be as many as 40,000 Russian troops camped out on the eastern edge of Ukraine right now, ready to go in and overthrow the government. You know, this all came about, in my opinion, back when we had the Syria crisis, which that didn't play out too well for us either. Because if you'll remember, President Barack Obama, he drew a red line, and then when that red line was crossed because of the fact that Bashar al-Assad of Syria used chemical weapons, his response was, we're reassessing. Russia took the lead there too. Of course now, Syria agreed early on that they'd get rid of all its chemical weapons, but now they've missed deadline after deadline after deadline, and nobody seems to care. But it was an emergency at the time that the president said they crossed the red line. Now nothing. Putin got emboldened by all of this. So when the president then said there will be cost a few weeks ago to Putin if they decided to go ahead and invade Crimea and take it back, guess what Putin did? He laughed and went ahead and took Crimea back anyway. Now they're ready to move into Ukraine with troops massed along the border. My whole problem with this is I don't want to see American troops on the ground. None of us do. And I don't want to see us fighting another war. But if you're going to say something, stick to it and have the backbone and the gumption to follow through. Don't draw lines and don't make threats unless you're going to follow it up. I mean, once your bluff is called, as the president was on Syria, nobody's going to believe you until you lay down a full straight next time around. North Korea, yep, Kim the Young'un, is flexing his muscle because he knows he don't have to worry about Russia. He don't have to worry about the Chinese, and he definitely doesn't have to worry about the United States of America. And here he is lobbing bombs out into South Korea's water. He's threatening another nuclear test flight next week. My. This little dictator is milking it for all it's worth. Yes, Kim Jong-il, or I should say Kim Jong-un, is nothing but a young'un who needs somebody to turn him over their leg and paddle him. Our hearts and our prayers go out to the folks out in Washington State who are suffering tonight and who are grieving after mudslides took away nearly 30 people last week. There they are, enjoying a nice spring night, when suddenly their homes were swept away and buried in a sea of mud. Hopefully they'll soon recover all those that are still yet missing. Hopefully they can recover, can build, can grow strong. But until then, our prayers are with them. Primary election season is upon us. In fact, a few states have already had them. Illinois last week. Here in the Cornfield, our primary starts will be held in May. Ain't Ain't much happening though yet. Not hearing a whole lot of rumbling out there. I've only received 2 or 3 pieces of political solicitation in the mail even. I'm not really expecting to see a whole lot going on during the primary. And let's face it, Indiana's pretty much solidly red at this point in time, and I can't see much happening with the congressional races this fall. They're pretty much going to stay where they're at. And we don't have either of our senators up for re-election. So nothing to worry about there. So there won't be any impact on control of the Senate there. But I expect it's going to warm up a little bit here over the next couple of weeks and months. In 2014, a lot of people are going to be rethinking what's going to happen and how the nation's course of action is going to go for these last 2 years of the Obama administration. Of course, that all brings most people speculating about what's going to happen in 2016 during the presidential race. Last week, Jeb Bush seemed to come out on top in a straw poll at Las Vegas. But, I tend to sort of agree with Grandma Bush there. We've had enough Bushes and Clintons on the ballot for president. It's time for somebody else's name to be on there. What came out as a surprise, though, was that Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker and Florida Senator Marco Rubio, they had some healthy showings as well, beating out such people as Kentucky Senator Rand Paul and Senator Ted Cruz and Governor Chris Christie. Walker's sort of slipping in there bit by bit. Who knows what could happen when the Republican primary gets underway. And Rick Perry seems to have some of his old fire back, or at least he did, back at the CPAC in Washington a few weeks back. But then again, will he have another one of those moments? Time will tell. And Joe Biden, our sitting vice president, he ain't going to let Hillary Clinton just waltz in there and take the nomination from the Democrats. No sirree. He's out in the hustings and busting his butt and making sure everybody knows he's a contender and a fighter. And that if Hillary wants it, she's going to have to come out swinging at fighting Joe to get the nomination. Then we got the GM recall today, where that for 10 years, not only did GM know about it, but the government knew about it and didn't do anything. They chose not to investigate in 2007, nor did they choose to investigate in 2010. Why not? 13 deaths. And only now having a recall. 10 years too late. This ain't right. Well, spring sprung. It looks like it around the cornfield here. After a wintry mix over the weekend, it's now hitting up right at 70 today here in the cornfield. April showers are in store for the rest of the week, starting tonight and going through Friday morning. Guess that means that May flowers should be following shortly thereafter. One thing about it, I don't think there's anybody in the country that is more glad to see winter go than what I am. All of us are sick and tired of the snow and the ice, that's for sure. Well, that's what's going on around the country and around the world on this last day of March, 2014. Thank you for enjoying and stopping by and listening to Kernels from the Cornfield. Join us tomorrow night. Maybe we'll get a little bit more polished as we go along. Have a great evening. From the Cornfield, this is Mark Ivy and Kernels from the Cornfield.